This was the way Shane Black directed The Predator. Alright, listen up everybody. You know my comic relief character in the first Predator movie? I want to make my Predator movie with all the personality of that character. Screw everything that made the first Predator awesome. Mr. Black, I'm not sure the fans will be satisfied with a comedy Predator movie. In case you've forgotten, I'm the director, so act like a joke or you're fired. Fine. Every Predator dance now, dun, 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 dun. As for my reaction to the Predator, just kidding, I never laughed once. I'm totally ranting about this shit. This is gonna hurt. Shane Black, lay off the booze or whatever the fuck you are on when directing this shit. The Predator, directed by Shane Black, who starred as the comic relief role in the first Predator, and tells the terribly written and directed story of a kid who unintentionally triggers a signal to which leads the predators to our planet once again. So it's up to the kid's father and his squads of goofy thugs to face them. As for my thoughts on the first Predator from 1987, I'll be sure to give it a proper review on my channel, but I'll just say this. It is one of the greatest sci-fi action movies and one of the 30 greatest movies as a whole ever frickin' made. This movie is neck and neck with Terminator 2 Judgment Day as Arnold Schwarzenegger's best movie. Not a fan of Predator 2, although the first Alien vs Predator is a guilty pleasure to me, and we can forget about that shitty Alien vs Predator Requiem. Since this movie is a sequel, it isn't rebooting the franchise, and it's directed by a star of the original Predator. It could have gone down as a classic and one of the finest movies of 2018. I couldn't wait to see what Shane Black would bring to the table, and then I saw this shit, and yeah. The Predator isn't just disappointing, it's fucking awful. This movie's even worse than Predator 2 on reflection. I postponed my review of this movie since I intended it to process my thoughts on this film fully before posting my final thoughts on it, and this is a rant. What a garbage movie The Predator is, Shane Black. I don't trust. What a garbage movie The Predator is, Shane Black. I'm not trusting you from now on. You fucked up. So, are there any positives to The Predator? Well, at least I'll give it that there is one moment where you feel like there's a tension, and one moment where you feel protective of one of our lead characters, where Olivia Munn's character is forced to strip and remove her clothing to decontaminate herself to get the door to open before the Predator reaches her. That was the one moment in the movie that has me on the edge of my seat, but none of the other scenes did. Fuck them. And the Predators themselves, the look of them, the design is a step up from the shitty designs from Predator 2. At least these Predators look somewhat badass in comparison, and the kid in this movie who brings the Predators to Earth. While I will get to the kids more in my negative section, I give Shane Black props for writing this kid as autistic. He wasn't afraid to include a autistic kid in a mainstream blockbuster. As somebody who's autistic, I related to that. But other than that, I totally get the hate for this awful movie. It deserves that 34% on Rotten Tomatoes. So as for my negatives, you can't take this fucking movie seriously. Shane Black directs it as a comedy, unintentionally, even though you're supposed to care about the squads. You're supposed to take the Predator seriously. It's a sci-fi honor, but Shane Black has no fucking clue what a horror is. He just seems to know comedy, and that also applied to his direction in Iron Man 3. He treated that movie like a joke, and because this movie is a comedy in tone, I never gave a slight shit about the squadron in this movie. They didn't care that they may fucking die facing the Predators. No, they were just like, nah, we're facing the Predator, one of the most invincible and capable movie antagonists in cinematic history. No big deal. Yep, that's literally their personality. So because the soldiers act like they're invincible, I didn't see any stakes to this film, unlike in the first Predator, in which your heart rate was going up. That's how much you cared about them in the first film, but the crew in this movie extremely inferior to the original squadron, and the Predator dogs, what the fuck? And the Predator dogs don't do shit, and the entire thing with the squadron's leader's son triggering the Predators to this planet, that is one of the dullest ways they could have brought the Predators to us. Why not be more imaginative? Why not develop the Predators instead of have them be killing machines? Why not have a backstory so that the squadron's leader, killed off several of the Predators' families, so to avenge their kind, they come to Earth to whoop our asses. Now that is a genuine motivation for the Predator, and if this movie had given the Predators more character, it would go down as a cult classic. But Shane Black doesn't give a shit about that, now does he? It's a shame Shane Black directed this movie. He's the incorrect director for the job. And also the soundtrack of this movie, it's just lazily copies the soundtrack and themes of the first Predator. You'll be confused which soundtrack is which. Yeah, that's another thing. There's this movie. There's a lack of identity to it, and even the new ideas it does have fucking suck. Shane Black is also the kind of director similar to Rian Johnson, where he throws twists at the fans, which they're not supposed to see coming. But if you thought the twist twists of killing off Snoke in Last Jedi, or the Mandarin it turning out to be a drunk in Iron Man 3. If you thought those twists pissed you off, then the twists in The Predator will legitimately piss you off for where the plot goes. I'd even go as far as saying, the first Aliens versus Predator is a better movie than The Predator, and that's a sad thought, I know. So overall, guys, The Predator is bad. It may be a sequel, but it felt like a shitty reboot. I would just get the DVD of Predator to grab my hammer and bash it, and then I'd fucking bury it with my other DVD copy of Alien vs Predator Requiem. So yeah, The Predator may not be it may not be the worst movie of 2018. It may not be 50 Shades fucked, but it may have just made my top 10 worst list.
I give The Predator 1 star out of 5. Fuck this movie.
No offense, Shane Black, but just stick to acting. I'm not a fan of your directing. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant. And what do you think of The Predator? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Google Plus and on Instagram. And I'll see you all next time when I give my thoughts on Henry Cavill exiting the DCU as Superman. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.